guys, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a recommendations video, and this one is for Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. She's doing it differently this year than she did last year, which was very elaborate. This year she's just doing it as words for the month, and then you pick a book that fits that word in some way, shape, or form. So I thought I would give some recommendations for, these are mostly independently published books, but there are a couple of traditional published books in here as well. But I thought I would just give a recommendation video because I thought it sounded like fun. She also has one for this month. I'll leave it linked in the description, her video of her recommendations, in case some of these books maybe don't fit to your taste, but maybe hers would. So yeah, and for the month of January, the word is beauty. So I went with 3 different categories of books. I went with Beauty and the Beast retellings, Beauty in the Title, and books that I just think are pretty based on the covers. So yeah, I'm not going to be talking in depth about any of these books because that would take forever. But I will leave, yes, I believe I have reviews to all these. I will leave them linked in the description so you can check out reviews and my further thoughts on these books. Research them for yourself. I might just give a basic description or just not much at all, just more the genre. I'm not trying to make this video extra long. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the first few, which are the Beauty and the Beast retellings, which I don't like Beauty and the Beast retellings as a general rule. There are a few that I like, but for some reason, something about those retellings, I just end up not liking them, whatever that means. I don't know what it is about those or about my talking. I don't know about that either. But yeah, there's just something about that tale that I just never seem to like retellings of it. I don't know if I would dislike the original as much. I haven't read the original yet, even though I need to at some point. But anyways, regardless of that, the first one in this category is My Little Rock Airman by Brittany Fichter. This is a, like I said, Christian contemporary romance, more just a contemporary romance. So the retelling aspects are very light, but this is a very sweet story. I really enjoyed this. I don't generally read a lot of contemporary for one thing, but it's Brittany Fichter. She's one of my favorite authors, so I'm going to read anything she writes. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I rate it as a 5-star originally. I think I'd rate it more as a 4-star now. But regardless, this is a really good one if you want just a sweet little romance story. The next one is also by Brittany Fichter, and this is fantasy, fairy tale retelling, Christian fantasy, and that is Before Beauty. This is the first book of her Classical Kingdom series. It is Beauty and the Beast retelling. And yeah, this one, if you do read the next 2 books in the series, they form a complete trilogy. The rest of the books are often standalones. But yeah, the first 3 books of this series are a complete trilogy. And this is the first one. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It is a little rough in the beginning because I think this was one of the author's first books. So the first 2 chapters are a little weird, I would say. I found them a little interesting to get into at first because it felt a little wonky, but that's just because it's the first book of hers. Once you get further in, it's completely fine. Isa and Everard, the main characters, they are awesome. I love them to death. But yeah, so yeah, this one I highly recommend. The next one I have is one that I also thoroughly enjoyed. That is The Beast and the Enchantress by Camille Peters. This one is a little interesting. It is part of the Villains Ever After series. And this one, when the Enchantress, who originally curses the prince character to be a beast, she actually kind of, due to her spell in this story, she ends up being cursed alongside him because, well, she's just as prideful as he is, apparently. So they kind of have to learn how to get out of their situation together. This is a novella, so it's much shorter than the previous 2 I mentioned. So if you want just a light little romance story, this would work perfectly. And also the cover is very beautiful. And it has a, if you're like me and you like sentient inanimate objects, this one has a sentient spellbook. And he's adorable. I love the spellbook. Then we have the first in another series, which can also be read as a standalone, like the Classical Kingdom series. That is A Thieving Curse by Selina R. Gonzalez. This is the first book of the Marigold Chronicles, Beauty and the Beast retelling. But in this case, our beast character, he can turn into a dragon, which is way cooler than just a beast. He's a dragon. And he kind of has half dragon traits and body parts, so to speak. He has like wings and a tail and stuff, and horns when he's in human form, as opposed to just being a giant dragon all the time. For some reason, a lot of my friends found that extremely off-putting, that he had a tail when they first read it. I did not. I don't know what that says about me, but here we are. Also, this has a beautiful cover, so this fits in the beautiful cover category. And if you really like this book, there is a companion novella of the first part of this novel from the Beast Dragon character, Alex's perspective, because only the girl's perspective is in this book. If you want some of his perspective, you need to read this book, which is The Dragon Prince's Heart. This is available free through the author's newsletter when you sign up. It is also available on Amazon as a paperback and a ebook. So you can get it a couple of different ways, but if you want to check out a new author and get a book for free, sign up for her newsletter. So yeah, her books are amazing, so I highly recommend any of them. So that's it for the Beauty and the Beast category. So now we're going to move into books with beauty in the title, and I had a very few, because I just looked it up on Goodreads, and yeah, I didn't have that many. Apparently beauty as part of the title, not just as in, it's a Sleeping Beauty retelling, and that's listed in there somehow. Yeah, aside from that, there doesn't seem to be very many. So, at least that I've read. So, we're gonna go with the first one, which, you're gonna recognize this again. The first one is Before Beauty by Brittany Fichter. So yeah, I just talked about this. Also, the second book in the series, which is Blinding Beauty, this is The Princess and the Glass Hill retelling. I don't know anything about this fairy tale, but this book has angst by the thousandfold. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, that's the second book in the Classical Kingdom series. It is also like the second book in this trilogy, the first trilogy. If you read it, you'll understand. Then we have a little short story that goes in between books 2 and 3. It is book 2.5. It is Beauty's Bell. This is a Christmas short story, which is super adorable. Then there is the third book, Beauty Beheld. This is a Hansel and Gretel retelling. And I love these covers, just, they're gorgeous. All of them are. Yeah, I highly recommend all of these. These are probably some of my favorites of her books. But yeah, these are all just fairy tale retellings with beauty in the title. The next one is also a fairy tale retelling. This one I have not read in a hot minute, but it's the book that first got me into YA books, and also, I would say, maybe fairy tale retellings as a whole, but I've not read it in a bit, but I would like to at some point. That is The Fairest Beauty by Melanie Dickerson. I remembered really liking this. This is a Snow White retelling, but it's set in historical Germany, so it's a non-magical historical retelling. And I remember really enjoying this. I don't know if I would now. Melanie Dickerson's books don't necessarily work for me anymore. I find she kind of just writes the same thing over and over again, and I find that boring. And I feel like her writing style has gone down, at least when I stopped reading her books. She could have improved, for all I know. But I do remember this one fondly. I would like to reread it, as I said, but yeah, I do remember liking this one quite a bit. So if you want more historical take on Snow White, here you go. Try this one. Also, very pretty cover. Okay, and then the last one I'm going to recommend is a classic. This is a children's classic. That is Black Beauty by Anne Sewell. Sorry, wow, I just forgot the author's name for a minute. This one is classic horse story. It does, of course, highlight the tragedies of the abuse of animals back in the day, and yeah, it's sometimes really hard to read. There are deaths of some animals in this book, so it might not be everybody's cup of tea. I remembered really liking this book as a child. I don't know what was wrong with me, because I tried looking at reading it as an adult, like a more highly sensitive adult, and I'm just like, I can't handle this. Are you kidding me? Why did younger me like this so much? Was she morbid or something? I don't know. She probably was morbid, but you know, I'm somewhat still morbid. I mean, I'm a writer, I fantasy, and I put characters through immeasurable torture. So yeah, there's probably just something morbidly wrong with me. Anyways, but yeah, if you want a classic book, here's this one. I have read it. It is good. It's a little too good sometimes. But there you go. And now we're going to get into my very large stack of books that I find very beautiful, that they're just beautiful covers. They have beautiful stories too. But yeah, I could have gone forever with this one because I have a lot of books where I love the covers, and a couple of them are not so much beautiful as in just epic, and I really like them, so I'm just gonna call them beautiful, because beautiful is a subjective term. Anyways, but yeah, so we're gonna go with the first few, if I could pick them up, and yeah, I mean, and are you shocked? They're more Brittany Fichter books. But I want to show off all these covers. She has gorgeous new covers for her fairy tale retellings. And yes, so I wanted to show all these off because these are by far beautiful. I don't own them all. I mean, I own most of them as ebooks. But yeah, they're just gorgeous covers. So definitely these are all highly beautiful. These are just some of the physical ones I own that I find most beautiful. I also have the white slipper, but I have it in the old editions, which isn't as pretty as the new ones, let's put it that way. But yeah, these are all just gorgeous covers. So if you want a variety of fairy tale retellings, from more obscure fairy tales to very popular ones, she's got a bunch of them, and they're all really good, at least the ones that I've read so far, which is a pretty good chunk by now, and they are all fantastic. So highly recommend these. So if you like more of a stylistic type of story, I went with this one, Bound by Knighthood by Nikki Chapelway. This is just like lots of scroll work, lots of gold. This is a fantasy series, has a she's half fae, right? Yes, she's like half fae, or she is fae. I don't remember. I think she's half fae, the main character. But yeah, and it's also beautiful on the inside because this is like the title page, and then the heading has a cool map, and then the heading of each chapter is this art, which if you buy the hardcover version, I think this is still available. If you buy the hardcover version, this photo in color is the hardback. Yeah, it's not different every chapter, it's just the same artwork, but I really like that. So yeah, this is very pretty. This is fantasy, deals with like a flying academy in the sky, people learning to be knights, and a rivalry between two people who, is it really rivalry, or are they just denying that they like each other? Yeah, this can be read by itself as a standalone, but the author is writing a sequel to this, which is called To Slay a Knight Boldly. This will be releasing, currently the date is July. So yeah, but if you read this book and like it, there is going to be more from these characters this year. And for another stylistic one, I thought I'd show this one at the same time. I have Wishtress by Nadine Brandes. This is one of the only traditionally published ones on this list. This is a Christian fantasy. It's a very light Christian fantasy allegory. This one also has pretty designs. Is it different for each character, or no, it's still just the leaves for each character, but that's pretty. Yeah, really love this cover. It's very gorgeous. And yeah, really love this story. And then before I get into this one, I'm going to mention this series as well. I do not own any of these in the new cover versions, which is why I'm just showing pictures up here. But the Elven Alliance series by Tara Grace, these are gorgeous covers. I love the artwork of these. I really want, when I get the physical copies, yeah, I'm going to be showing them off all the time because they're gorgeous. I love them so much. Fierce Heart and Elf Prince are probably my two favorite ones. I like the Green Forest. No, Elf King's probably a close third. I really like the ones where they're in the forest, because I love forests and stuff. So yeah, those just really make me happy, and they're all just beautiful in this series. I love them so much. Then we're gonna go into my two mangas that I'm going to say, because these are beautiful, story-wise, but also art-wise. The first one is Yona of the Dawn. This is an epic fantasy. It's a shoujo, which means it's aimed at like girls, teen girls. And yeah, the artist and the story is done by the same person. I do not know how to say her name, but that's the author and the illustrator's name. She has gorgeous illustrations for this book, and it's just gorgeous on the inside as well. The action is like epic. She draws very good action, amazing character growth. Everything about this story is just beautiful. yeah, I really, really enjoy this one. This series is still ongoing though, so, and we're currently waiting for, my friend Laura and I are currently waiting for things to stop being so cliffhangery at the end of every single volume that comes out so that we can actually continue the series. But so far it's just like everything that keeps coming out is like, wait, that one ends with something being sad too? I cannot handle this. But yeah, really enjoy the series. Highly recommend this one. Yeah, really, really good. Definitely my favorite series. Also, if you just want to try, say, a shorter version of it first, you can try the anime as well. Anime has the same art style as the manga. It's also excellent. As long as you don't mind a little bit of blood. There is a little bit of blood and some mild swearing in both versions, the manga and the anime. So, and then my second manga is My Happy Marriage. This is also ongoing, at least the manga's ongoing. I think the light novel still is too. This is beautiful. Like, the art in this one is also beautiful. Just, this is a gorgeous story, gorgeous artwork. Yeah, it's just amazing. This is like a color insert. It's very beautiful. I love this series a lot as well. Here's the second volume. I didn't want to pull out more than one of Yona. And this one, the third volume, is probably my favorite cover. But yeah, I really love this series as well. I need to continue it, but you know, that's neither here nor there. This is also beautiful as well. Has some mild language and also has depictions of familial, mental, physical, and emotional abuse. So look up trigger warnings for this series. The manga I felt was more harsh with the abuse angle than in the light novel. So if you still want to read it, but you don't want to be as gut-punchingly impacted by it, I would suggest the light novel. I don't know if it's just the distant way the light novels are written that make it less gut-wrenching, but the manga is definitely more gut-wrenching. So look into that if you are sensitive to that type of thing. I have a couple books from the Once Upon a Prince series. I have The Crownless Prince by Selina R. Gonzalez. This is a gender-bent Maid Malene retelling. And then we have The Wicked Prince by Celeste Baxendale, which is a Robin Hood retelling. These are both my favorites in the series so far. Both are standalones. They have no connection to each other, so you can read one or the other at your will. This one's just so wintry. I love it. And then this one is, again, forest and green. If your cover has a forest on it, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to love it. So this one's a forest too. It's just a wintry forest. But yeah, really love both of these. Just really, really good. If you want hilarity, get this one. This one's hilarious. If you want a little more serious topics but just all-around amazingness, get this one as well. Also, the other covers in that series, if at this time they still have all those covers, because at this point in time, this series, the authors have disbanded the series and they're now all publishing them by themselves. So I don't know if the covers are staying or if some of them may switch their covers, but these are gorgeous regardless. Then when I was looking through my books and getting out these, I just found some other random ones I decided to highlight because I'd forgotten about them when I was writing this list initially. And the first one is Moonscript by H.S.J. Williams. This is the first book of a Christian fantasy series with elves. It's very written like a very modern Tolkien-esque. So if you like his style of writing and you like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and stuff, I highly recommend this series. You will definitely love it. Because my mom is a huge Tolkien fan and she loves these books so much. I finally convinced her to read Moonscript, and yeah, she actually read the second book, Collusion, which also has a gorgeous cover. She actually read that one before me. I still haven't read that one yet. And there's also a companion novella of, what is it called? I always mess it up. I think it's Prince of Crown and Sea. I think that's the title. The cover will correct me up here if I'm wrong. But they all have gorgeous covers. Christian fantasy, definitely allegory. This is just a beautiful series. One I highly recommend, especially if you like Tolkien's works. And then this one is more epic, but I think these are all so cool. That is A City Between series by W.R. Gingold. They all have this look to them where it's a person at the top and it's a flipped thing at the bottom. So it's always different what they are, but I think that is just so cool. It's just dark all the way around, but yeah, I just think it's so cool the way these look, and this one of the 3 that I have is my favorite. So yeah, I definitely wanted to show these off. So not necessarily just drop dead gorgeous, but epic. I would call this epic. This is urban fantasy. The last one I want to show off is the other traditionally published novel. Obviously the 2 manga were traditionally published as well. And that is 1,000 Heartbeats by Kira Cass, because even if you don't like the book, I think we can all agree that the cover is drop dead gorgeous. So yeah, and even like the interior, the end pages and the front pages have these beautiful scroll work, and it's just really pretty. I think it even, does it have, yes, it does have a gorgeous map too. So yeah, this book, whether you like it or not, is pretty. I think we can all agree that it's just beautiful. And this is clean, non-magical fantasy, yeah, which is hard to find if you want a secular type book. And I think I'm losing my life. So, yeah, that's it. Those are all the books recommended for the beauty tag. I am most assuredly losing my light, so we're gonna wrap up this video real quick. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have recommendations for Beauty and the Beast retellings, Beauty and the Title, beautiful books, or just something with the story to do with beauty overall, drop them below in the comments. I'd love to hear them, and I'm sure other people who watch this video would love to see them as well. So yeah, as my light is slowly disappearing, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!